Hello everyone, welcome to the Comic Gamer Movie Show. My name is Deshaun, and today I am here to talk about The Boys Season 2. Amazon released the first 3 episodes of The Boys Season 2. The Boys will be a weekly show. I don't think I'm going to review it weekly. I'm going to do The Boys like I do every other show besides The Mandalorian, because that was just a whole different thing in of itself. But I'm going to do what I usually do, which is I'm going to review the first episode or two. I mean, the first episode or two, so to speak. And then when the season wraps, review the whole thing as the entire thing. So the first 3 episodes of The Boys pick up about not too long after the ending of The Boys Season 1. Spoiler, if you didn't see the ending of The Boys Season 1. The Boys Season 1 ended with not only Billy Butcher finding out that his wife is alive, but finding out that his wife had a kid with Homelander. They tried to throw a little, swerve in there by kind of teasing that, because if you've been a nerd long enough, or especially if you saw Mallrats, you know the question of Superman's sperm and Superman, being able to... Could Superman even have a child with Lois Lane? Could Superman even actually conceive a child? Because theoretically, unless he could control his sperm, which I've heard he can actually control himself on a molecular level, unless he can literally control how hard he ejaculates, his sperm should shoot through the back of Lois' spine and murder her. In fact, unless he's fucking like this, he should kill her. But... So they kind of played with that a bit, with the idea that when Butcher's wife because they were teasing this idea that Butcher's wife got raped by Homelander. And it was, and that's what you thought. You thought, fuck Homelander. Butcher's wife was raped and murdered by Homelander, and he wants revenge. He wants vengeance on all the Supes. He's gonna get his vengeance, and it's driven him mad because by the tail end of season 1, Butcher is completely consumed with revenge. Now, when you first see Butcher in season 1, he's already kind of, consumed with revenge, but he's kind of playing it off as this charming, destructive, tornado of death. This charming, destructive played beautifully by my boy, Played beautifully by... How am I blanking on his name all of a sudden? I started doing the video and now I'm blanking on his name. He's played Dredd, he's played Bones, he's played Scourge. He was in Doom. Oh man, why can I not get his name right? I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna be doing the video and then it's gonna just whoop, jump into my brain. I'm like, I know his name! I'm telling you, it's gonna come to me. It's gonna come to me. But Billy is he's just this destructive force of nature. And, and it just gets worse as the season goes on. By the end of season 1, Billy is completely he pretty much just tells Huey, who's kind of the main character in a way. He's the kind of the viewpoint from the the audience, Huey. And if you saw season 1, his he started off with his girlfriend getting completely destroyed and blown into bloody smithereens right in front of him. But you got to go and watch season 1. But anyways, season 1 ended with fucking Butcher pretty much turning around to Huey and all of them and just saying, I don't give a fuck about you. I want my vengeance. My vengeance is more important than your life. And that's pretty much what he told Huey. Huey wanted to go back and save the rest of the boys and the girl, but he wanted to go back and save them, and fucking Butcher was like, I don't give a fuck about what happens to them. I don't give a fuck what happens to you. I want to get my vengeance. And he rode off, left Huey, left them to die. And then things went south. Not only did Homelander not kill him, not only did he not get his vengeance, but Homelander pretty much fucked with him, took him to his wife who's still alive, and it turns out not only is his wife alive, she had a child with him. She had a child with Homelander who has his powers. It was interesting. That ending was because it left it up to interpretation of, was any of the reason Butcher was doing what he was doing true? And it kind of left it the way that they put it out there was almost to kind of go, fuck you, Billy, for doing what you did to the rest of your friends, because maybe why you were doing it isn't even the real reason that you were doing it. Maybe you were wrong, Billy. And that's how it ended. It just left you sitting there with I don't know what's gonna happen next feeling. Starlight, the big reveal that that the superheroes weren't normal superheroes. They were all made by this industry called VOT. you call it Vought, and like superheroes were created by them so that they could control all of them. So that basically they have a monopoly on superheroes and branding and whatnot. And like they privatize superheroes, and they were trying to get the superheroes in as a branch of the military. And like it's a whole thing. You gotta watch season 1. I don't want to really I don't really want to spend too much time trying to explain season 1. If you saw season 1, then you're with me. If you didn't, you should go back and watch season 1. I think you can get I'm sure you can get like a little free subscription on Amazon Prime, and you can go binge through the entirety of season 1 to catch up to where I am now. And that's where it ended. It ended with that. And when we catch back up to everybody, I will say this. Butcher doesn't show up in the first episode. The first episode is really an epilogue. In fact, I'd say these first 3 episodes are really like an epilogue / prologue to season 2. Because technically they are the beginning of season 2, but I feel like these first 3 episodes were table setting. They were setting the table for what's to come in the rest of the season. These 3 episodes were like, okay, we're setting the table. First of all, Huey is all fucked up. Him and Starlight had a big falling out because he lied about why he was talking to her, and it was the classic case, and we've seen this before a million times of the person being like, oh, I'm gonna just, this is all business. I'm gonna just lie to them and seduce them or whatever, just to get information that I need. And they both fell in love with each other, and he fell in love with her, and she fell in love with him. But he was lying about his intentions. He felt bad about it. He's been really fucked up about it. Not to mention, they're the most wanted men on the planet because in season 1, Homelander killed the head of Vought. Well, not the head of Vought, but the face of Vought. Killed the face of Vought and pretty much had it blamed on Billy Butcher and basically all the other members of the boys. So all of them they're the most wanted men and women on the planet. So, they've got they're pretty much staking out in the shitty, like, basement in this comic book store, which obviously has, the boys' comics sitting up in there, like, the actual comics in real life sitting in there. So, like, they're just camped out in this shitty basement, man. And, everyone's trying to keep their head down. They're trying to just keep it together. But, Huey's having a hard time because all he wants to do is not only make it up to Starlight, but he just wants to get back at them for what they did. Huey's kind of not consumed by hate and anger, but he wants to do something. He wants to do something, and he's really, really heartbroken about what happened with Billy. Billy is the only reason he's even involved in all this. So Huey is all fucked up. But needless to say, him and Starlight are still communicating, and they both are like, they haven't forgiven each other, but they understand each other. Like Starlight hasn't forgiven him for lying, but she still cares about him and she understands why he did it. It hurt her. Basically, she felt like now you know that, but of course he didn't know that at the time. But he feel like you could have come forth with that from the beginning. And we could have, it could have been an honest thing. We'd be in a better spot. And you really hope for them. Honestly, the first 3 episodes really make you you're rooting for Starlight and Huey. You really are. You're just rooting for things to work out for those two characters. You're just rooting for them to work out and be a thing because they clearly have emotional connection to each other and it clearly means something to one another. And it's really fucking Huey up more, but it is getting to Starlight a little bit. Needless to say, that thing is happening, and they're working together to try to get to expose Vought, to expose that not only are they responsible, that Vought is responsible for all these superheroes, that they've been lying to people for decades, that these superheroes just happen, that it's like, no, there's a reason all these superheroes are under your company because you created them all, and you gave it all out, and you might even be responsible for all these supervillain outbreaks, which, by the way, that is minor thing. That is also something that happened at the end of the season, is fucking Homelander decided to go around the world and make supervillains by dropping out the same chemicals that made all of them have superpowers and just dropping them off and just giving people random superpowers, so that way the government would be forced to make them a part of, the government would be forced to make the superheroes from Vought a part of the military. And that's kind of what they're dealing with. So there's a whole bunch of things going on. But the big crutch of it is that there are super terrorists coming in America, and not to mention there's this new character named Stormfront who is just this snarky, obnoxious, just kind of a bitch, really. Like, she really is. And when she first comes off, and they did a great job doing this, because when she first gets there, you kind of go, maybe she's for real. Maybe she's just honest. But then, by the time that third episode comes, which is why I say, like, these 3 episodes are really greatly structured to kind of set the table, you know what she is. And in many ways, she's a worse version of Homelander. Because Homelander is a child. He's a child. He's a baby. Theoretically, if you got a strong enough tone and a big enough, and you know how to work it, you can verbally spank him. And in fact, Giancarlo Esposito had a fantastic scene, because he's the head of VOT, where he just verbally spanks Homelander. Like, Homelander looked like a baby, man. He looked like a bitch in that moment, crazy enough. But no, but Stormfront might be more evil because she's vindictive and she knows what she's doing. There ain't no emotion, there ain't no lashing out. She is just evil and twisted. And Homelander is evil and twisted too. But while you understand how Homelander got evil and twisted because of how because you saw how he came up, she just seems like she's an evil and twisted individual who legit doesn't give a fuck. And that's scary. And she might be even scarier than him. But anyways, Boys season 2 has had come off with a great start. I'm enjoying all 3 of the episodes. There's an amazing subplot with Huey not forgiving Butcher, as you shouldn't, because he, literally, like I said, you were gonna let us die. And I just love he's not gonna let that shit go. And I wouldn't either. And it's fine. It was a great little arc of Huey fighting against even having Butcher coming back in the first episode. Butcher coming back and Huey questioning every decision he made, because in the back of his mind, he's like, what are you gonna do now? And then in the 3rd episode, they finally forgive each other. Huey finally forgives him, and he finally goes, I fucked up. Because he'd been lying the whole time. He's like, I don't give a rat's ass. Butcher finally sincerely was like, I fucked up. I'm sorry. He didn't say that, but that's, he pretty much did, because he came back for Huey, and that's pretty much him admitting, I fucked up, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to push you this far, we need you, man. And saved him in the end, and saved him in the last episode. So, overall, all these 3 episodes were well made. It's kind of like a mini, they had a through line that came to a conclusion. All the table is set, we know all the characters, we know where it's going. I can't wait for Friday, because I'm recording this on Tuesday, to watch the 4th episode. Thank you guys for making Comic Game Movie Show. Please leave a like and subscribe. And his name is Carl Urban. I just remembered it at the end. Thank you guys. Have a good one.